Hi, my name is Moxie, and I'm from Edison, New Jersey, and I am a production manager for Micah firm.
My name is Sanjae Cuvilie. I was born in Montego Bay, Jamaica, but I moved up into America when I was 9, turning 10, and I'm currently in schools getting my master's.
My name is Amya Martin. I'm a creative based out of Atlanta, Georgia.
My name is Proctor. My hometown is Durham, North Carolina. I did just receive my massage therapy license, so I will be doing that here soon.
Hey, my name is Ceairra, and I'm from the DMV area, currently residing in Maryland, and I am self-employed.
My name is Zamoria. I was born in Jamaica, Queens, and I am a presenter at Katie.
Hello, I am Kamiliah Boyd. I am from Prince George's County, Upper Marlboro, Maryland. I am a physician associate. I've been working in my career field for the last 13 years.
So my name is Tasia. I am basically a hearing technician. I'm from Florida, Titusville, Florida, but I lived in Georgia the majority of my life, so Gwinnett County for sure.
So growing up in Prince George's County I always describe it as like a cocoon of protection, in my opinion, because if you don't know, Prince George's County is the richest Black county in the entire nation. And just growing up in this county, you see every aspect of Black life and the Black condition. And again, we're the suburb of Washington, D.C. And as a child, I grew up with so many beautiful reflections of Black people. I had, all my doctors were Black. Majority of my teachers were Black. I have friends who had parents that were lawyers, engineers, and then you see the other aspect of friends call it. So I've seen so many aspects. So in Prince George's County, I always got a full picture of the Black experience. So in my mind, I never stereotyped anything. It was just like I could become whatever I am to become.
I was born on the east side of Atlanta. I guess what most people would describe as a hood environment, but I come from good home, good family. Atlanta is Black Mecca. It's Black people everywhere. Like, you have no choice but to build a culture when you're out here. So that kind of brings some type of comfort, and like it just makes me feel like I'm one with everybody when I'm surrounded by my complexion.
More recently, through finding like a community of neurodivergent Black, mostly femmes, I've been able to see who I truly am, and it's incredible. I'm like achieving goals that I never thought that I would. I'm finding more comfort with myself than I didn't have prior.
So when I am in a predominantly Black space, it's like I feel like I can breathe. I feel like I can relax. I feel like I can calm down. I'm not hyper aware of everything that's going on around me because I don't feel like I'm sticking out like a sore thumb because everyone else around me looks like me, and I don't have to be on edge and anxious about being hate crimed, about being microaggressed, about feeling like I have to explain everything, about feeling like I have to explain my outfit or feeling like I have to explain my hair. In predominantly Black spaces, I feel welcomed, I feel warm, and I feel at home.
Growing up in predominantly Black neighborhoods and just having Black people around me, I would say it's very comfortable. It nurtures your confidence in yourself, in your skin, and who you are, embraces you, your culture. And even though in a world where you may seem alienated, when you are surrounded by that community, it just makes you feel like home.
So I grew up in Edison, New Jersey, which is a relatively small, mid-sized town in New Jersey. And I would say that my town kind of was considered a melting pot. There was a lot of different cultures and races and ethnicities in my town, so I kind of had a good experience of being surrounded by a lot of diversity. Although, despite, I will say, there wasn't a lot of like Black African American people, but I was still like surrounded by a lot of diversity from other cultures. I got the experience to just kind of like learn about a lot of different people's backgrounds and just like be more open-minded to like the rest of the world and who was around me other than like white people or Black people. Then I went to a PWI, I went to Monmouth University, and that was just a stark contrast from what I was used to when growing up. And I'm just like, Monmouth is, it's going back. It's like taking like 5 steps back from what I was growing up with and what I was used to, because it was predominantly white. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was kind of forced to have to find my people and find my little group, because Monmouth didn't really provide that unless you found it yourself.
High school, I did have a very tight-knit group of friends, because I can say when you are in like those predominantly white places, you kind of seek out one another. So I mean, the friends that I have now, I mean, I've had the same friends since middle school. The same thing with college. I ended up with a pretty close group that we still stay in contact with. I think we were all just kind of going through the same thing, where you don't see a lot of people like yourself. You try to, at least for me, I try to find the people who I would think I have things in common with.
When I first came to America, I found myself trying to change myself to better fit in to the majority, because I was made fun of for my hair. I was made fun of for the way that I spoke. I was made fun of for the way that I dressed, for the person that I was. And so it wasn't until I came to America where I started to question my identity and question everything. And then being in school and being around all those kids, it just made it a lot more difficult. Because living in Jamaica, I was never singled out in being in the minority. It's a majority Black country. So I was never asked like, why is your hair like that? Or why is your skin so dark? Why are your gums so dark? Why are your fingernails so dark? And it wasn't until I came to America where I felt like everyone was looking at me and everyone was seeing the differences. And immediately I wanted to change everything about myself.
So I'm basically a customer experience technician, and out of the 27 employees and 27 people on the team, there's only 2 Black women, and I'm one of the 2 Black women. So, and then the rest are white, or yeah, I believe the rest are white. So, yeah.
I'm the only Black girl that's usually in my office. Like my supervisor, she's Black, and so she was the one who interviewed me. So again, there's that kind of comfortability just walking in the office and seeing someone that like I just feel like I can relate to. But for the most part, it's just me in that office. So I feel like they do try to do more things and try to like, I don't know, like one of my coworkers is just always trying to like connect with me. I feel like on things he thinks are like Black things, like he always talks to me about rap. It's like, I don't listen to rap. And I have another coworker who kind of tiptoes around the fact that I'm Black. So I feel like they definitely don't know how to act. They do handle me differently because I'm Black in an office where I'm the only Black person there.
It's interesting because when you know people in and out of the work environment, everyone can tell. You can tell as soon as you clock out, it's different. And there's something like very interesting about it, but also kind of sad. The fact that like Black women have to be chameleons and kind of like morph themselves into whatever space they see fit. So yeah, code switching is, although like I'm sure a skill that's useful, it's kind of sad.
So code switching is
Code switching is
Code switching to me
is a method that Black people use to make white people feel more comfortable.
not just a way in which we change the way we talk, but it's the way we change everything about ourselves.
People will say, oh, it's a more professional way of speaking.
There's such thing as sounding white and sounding Black.
depending on the environment you're in, the people you're around, you have to like just change yourself like on like almost like a molecular level.
Even the way you wear your hair,
Change the way you speak,
clothing,
the way you react, the way you act,
handshakes, right? Dapping people up or not.
how you think.
It seems like white is right.
Code switching is not for you. It's for other people.
When I'm around my friends, I'm around my family and people I'm comfortable with, it is a whole different, it's like a whole different person.
I remember watching YouTube videos of Black women talking about their like rhinoplasties, talking about lip reduction. I was like, I'm gonna get this when I'm of age, when I have the money, because all these little white kids were poking and prodding and making me feel like I was just like it was not okay to look the way that I looked. And immediately I became self-aware of the differences. I never thought about these differences. And from that moment, this is 4th grade, my mental health, my self-esteem, it tumbled, it flopped, it went all the way down. And fast forward, being at Clemson and living on a floor with 52 white girls, it's like it's all you see everywhere. Every day, like seeing people who didn't look like you, it's like, it's difficult. It's difficult to keep up. It's difficult to continue to try and fake it until you make it. It's difficult. It's hard.
Being in this space, I dissociate a lot. And sometimes it's like wearing that mask all the time, especially 8 hours of the day, 9 to 5s, or just other environments too. But wearing that mask really does play a lot on your sense of identity and who you are as a person, and it sometimes make you feel like you're kind of losing yourself, and it can be draining and exhausting.
I grew up with a lot of social anxiety because in the back of my mind I was just like always thinking about like the attention I could possibly receive, how people would receive me as a person, and just feeling out of place. That just led me to just have a really like dark days, especially in college, going to a PWI, and like I said, it being such a transition from the hometown that I grew up with, and just kind of just feeling very alone. I just did not want to leave my dorm room. I did not want to interact with anybody. You know, when you isolate yourself and you're alone like that, then like, you know, the dark days just get even darker, and it's just definitely just been hard trying to keep with my mental health being a Black woman, because Black women are just not protected, I guess, and not loved enough to feel like that they are good enough and they can be in these spaces, and that just messes with your mind a lot growing up.
I'm not able to really express myself in white spaces how I necessarily want to. Like, I can't be angry, or like I'm that angry Black girl in the office. Having to suppress those feelings all the time. Yes, I mean, I have had a time where I just broke down at my office because I couldn't hold everything in anymore. And then even that, just as far as just myself and just the community and just being a Black woman in general, I feel like we're always told we need to be strong and we need to like hold it down for everybody. And it's hard to do that. Like, you can't do that. And I feel like there's so many times where I feel like it's just so hard to have that facade, and it's so hard to pretend that you have it all together and that you're okay all the time. Just having to be strong all the time is really hard.
My hope for the future of Black women in predominantly white spaces is that Black women be their beautiful, great selves. Just be yourself. Do what you feel in your heart is right. Don't change yourself just so that you can please the next person. Love yourself, respect yourself, and embrace yourself.
I'm just hoping to like peacefully exist. Like, without having to do like all of the extra stuff. Like, I want to be able to show up in a space and exist, like in my blackness, like in my peak black feminist, and like have no one bat an eye. Just everyone be like, oh, it's a normal day. Just Zamoria coming in the office.
For me, for personally my future, just how I mentioned before, how I just got my massage therapy license. There are not a lot of Black women I see, at least in that field. So for me, I just want to be a person that can be in that field. So other Black girls who may have that aspiration to say like, hey, there's a Black girl in this field, like it's something I can do, something I can be good at.
Majority of Black people that I've been around, like it's been nothing but love and like just sharing experiences. Like that's just a whole beautiful thing to me that I wish everybody would come together and just see like it's possible to coexist and like, you know, not be weird about it.
I'm hoping we create our own space, to be honest. I'm hoping we have more Black women creating, you know, businesses, empires, being CEOs.
Honestly, I just hope we're just dominating. I don't know, it's just giving our time to me. It's just giving that like, we've all just kind of really just been sick and tired of how the status quo has been and are just ready just to see the change. And I've just seen a lot of change being done and I'm just very excited to see like what we can do as a whole. And I can't wait to see what I can do to help better for the next generation as the generation before me has done for me.
I pray that we all just find our space and don't feel like we have to do anything to conform to anybody. You know what I mean? As long as it's right in our heart and our minds, like just do you.
In the future, Black women need to take their space, their entitled space, in predominantly white spaces. Do not dilute yourself. Do not change anything about yourself. Speak the way you speak, act the way you act, look the way you look, and be who you are in predominantly white spaces. Period.